Welcome to We Love to Hate Everything. I'm Jodie, and along with my long-distance bestie Amanda, we live to break down all the things we love to hate. Each week, we scour TV, TikTok, and pop culture and deliver you our unfiltered, snarky takes on everything. Take a moment to subscribe on YouTube so you catch all our live streams and shows, and follow the links in the banner to subscribe to our free weekly podcast and 2 Patreon shows, We Love to Hate TV and Total Request Podcast, where you request the shows and we break them down. Once subscribed, you have instant access to our massive library of hundreds of past shows and recaps. We promise you'll love it. And listen, we're all friends here, so let us hear from you in the comments. We love getting to know you, and we hope you enjoy the show. All right, let's go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Love to Hate Everything. I don't like how big I am in this picture right now, babe. So I'm going to bring in my guest for this week right now. Jodie, as we all know, had to take off a few weeks this summer. She's got her kids and, you know, a family and a life and stuff. I don't know what that's like, but let's bring in someone who also has all of those things. And she breeds snakes or something. Oh, let's talk about it. Oh, I'm bringing in Julie from Resting Bitch Face podcast. Hi, Julie.
Hi. I'm so excited to be here.
Did you enjoy all the movement you saw happening during that whole intro there of me spazzing out completely?
Yes. I'm just sitting here on mute like, everything's going to be okay. It's all good.
I'm clicking shit. I'm like fanning myself with my fucking fan. There's like forest fires and there's a heat wave now.
I had a mini heart attack too earlier because I have my YouTube set up to give me notifications before the show starts. I can make sure to be there. Right. And I got that like 30-minute before notification. And I was like, oh, yay, the live is starting. And then I was like, I'm on the live.
I'm on it. Yeah.
But so I realized it was like, oh, it's going to be starting soon. So I had a mini heart attack. I thought I was, totally missing it.
Yeah. So. Well, anyway, but no, this is our first guest of the summer, of this cruel summer, if you will, a little spoiler, of the summer. And I couldn't think of someone better to do it with. Julie's been one of my best friends for several years. I don't even know how did we actually meet?
I actually think that my old co-host Melinda introduced us.
Okay.
But I think I had been listening to you and Jodie. Jodie used to have this like Moms and Cocktails, or what was the name of that?
That's right. Moms on the Rocks, I think.
Yes, Moms on the Rocks. And I think I heard about Jodie from Lynette Carolla and Stephanie Wilder-Taylor's podcast probably like 10 years ago. Oh, thank you, random cat. But yeah, so I had listened to her forever, and then Melinda was like, I love these podcasters, and then she introduced us, and I mean, it's been a few years now.
Yeah,
and I finagled my way into the podcast gal group chat.
You did. You broke us down. But it's the best chat ever, where it's like
best, and I harassed Justine for a long time. I was like, what do I have to do to get on this group chat? And I finally made it. So
it's just girls who podcast, and we all we have like a ton of different conversations going on all the time. It's great. If I don't hear from you guys for the day, I assume that my phone is broken or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right,
kind of like when you made me watch Cyberbully, and I was like sitting there like, oh my God, this thing is insane. And nobody was responding to me. I was like,
everyone should watch Cyberbully.
It's crazy.
Okay, Let me get a couple of things out of the way here. Now,
Absolutely.
we got a TRP episode dropping this week, and I just need to warn you guys about it because it's bad. It's like probably funny for anyone to listen to, but like something was happening with my mic and it kept muting itself, and like by the end I was going off the deep end, and Jodie was like, "It's okay, I got this, babe. And like it's a comedy of errors. So I just want you guys to know that we're aware of how bad the episode is, but it's also good. Like when we're actually doing the content, it's good. It's funny. So, but I just want you guys to know that we're aware, but I decided to post it anyway because I thought you guys will think it's probably funny. Mm-hmm. So there's that.
That happens. We'll all love it, I'm sure.
I mean, we've all been through it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, there's nothing worse than losing a podcast episode. Like, has that happened to you before?
Oh yeah, especially when you have a guest and then you're like, oh great, thank you for wasting 2 hours of your time with me.
Yeah. But I know it happens to everyone, and there's just nothing worse than that. And you can't really redo it because you can't recreate the magic. This week on our Patreon, we have I just saw a picture I'm going to put up later. That's really funny. We have I can't find the picture, of course, but it's Sister Wives, and it's season 6, episode 2, Polygamists in a Shark Tank. It's where, and guess what? Robin cries in the episode.
They legitimately, did they go on Shark Tank? I cannot remember.
They go in a tiny little room with like 4
That's
people
what I
who
remember.
have like some money.
Okay.
So there's that. Check that out. And we have Amanda Loves to Hate Teen Mom. Just put up an episode yesterday. New Kids on the Block. This picture, your only listening group, is Tyler telling Caitlin, you gained 3 pounds last week. Because the entire episode is Caitlin being pregnant and Tyler like on the internet being like, you're actually only supposed to gain like 5 pounds like per week or whatever. And don't worry.
Thoughts on that one.
Yeah, well, what do you think of that? Do you think men should maybe shut the fuck up about it when you're pregnant?
I think that the intention was good. The execution was bad.
Sure.
I think she did gain a lot of weight very quickly. You shouldn't be gaining that much weight at the beginning. So it's you could have gestational diabetes, like you could have all kinds of complications.
She does get gestational diabetes.
So it's like, it's good advice just done the wrong way.
But I've said this several times on the show so far, that when you remember, like, I remember her being so much bigger than she is, and she's not at all. She just has like really huge knockers, but other than that, she's like really not that big. Yeah. So that. What else? Date with K&K. I went on a date with Yellow Jackets last week. And this was one of the most intense things I've ever done because I totally forgot about it. And then Kimberly messaged me and was like, hey, you still good for tomorrow? And this was like 9 p.m. And I was like, totally. I'm totally ready. So I had to binge out the entire like series in a day. And I'm like, okay, no, I missed the last 3 episodes. I couldn't get to them. And then I go on and I'm just kind of watching like all the other guests before me. It's all these like huge podcasts. Like I am like nothing like compared to these people. And all of these people know all of these like random conspiracy theories, and they're talking about all this random shit that I have never heard of. And I'm like, I thought we were just going to kind of be like, yeah, it's a good show. It's fun. The actors are really good. So check us out on that. I come in about an hour in, but I think I held it myself together.
I'm sure you were great. We're definitely our own worst critics. I haven't had a chance to watch that yet because I haven't finished it. I'm only like a few episodes in. So
what do you think of Yellow Jackets? I just can't get into it anymore.
I heard that they had like 5 more seasons set up or something, and I'm like, why? I feel like this should have been a limited series, like of 1 or 2 seasons and done. But you know, obviously anytime they make money, they're just gonna keep popping them out. Yeah,
right. All right. The Tonys are tonight. Do you have any thoughts?
I never watched the Tonys.
Oh really? I thought you were a music theater gal.
I do. Yeah, I do love musical theater. I don't have cable, so I don't watch those types of things that are on cable TV. But maybe now that you've introduced me to TikTok lives, where I can just watch someone else's cable.
It's a hidden secret. They're going to definitely figure that out soon and like make sure that people can't do it anymore. But for now, guys, like if you don't have cable, you can easily go on TikTok and just type in like Vanderpump Rules live and it'll come right up.
For the Vanderpump Rules finale, the reunion finale, I was like, oh, they're going to shut this down any second now. Like I'm going to have to find a second backup. And no, perfectly fine stream the whole time.
I have no idea
how you can do that.
Cindy Peterson says, I'm done with Yellow Jackets. I had to force myself to finish the season. I mean, even Jodie said like she watched the whole season up until like the last 10 minutes and then was like, I can't, I don't care.
Well, I keep hearing there's some kind of supernatural aspect to it, and I just don't like stuff like that. I want to know, this could actually happen. That's what I want to experience when I watch something that freaks me out. And so that's why I
Agreed.
kind of like haven't been thrilled to go through it very quickly.
The relish tray says Julie has the most calming voice, which isn't good because I got 5 hours of sleep. Good morning, everyone.
I hope I don't put you to sleep. I'm sorry.
Wait, what about my super nasally masky voice? I'm not putting anyone to sleep.
Wait, but hold on one second, because you mentioned the TRP episode, but you didn't tell us what it's about.
Oh, it's the next big thing, New York.
Okay, I remember.
It's problematic as fuck.
Okay, I know that I've watched some of that when it came out. What year did that come out in?
Okay, well, here's the thing. I buy almost every episode because I have to, because I'm in Canada. But you can write them off on your taxes, Julie. Perfect. Did you know that?
Yes, it's Perfect. A business expense.
It is a business expense. But I found it and I watched it.
I mean, did you file your taxes, Amanda?
I did. Well, my aunt is my accountant. So, and my mom is on top of that shit. Good. This is what I need
from you. Come to the US soon.
Maybe. I mean, they already took the money out of my bank account. So what else could I do for them? Yeah. But I found this episode and I'm watching it. I'm like, this is weird. It was like these like really shitty like Staten Island kids that are like doing hip hop. And I'm like, why were we assigned to this? And then I checked it out, and there's actually a totally different show called The Next Big Thing in New York from 2012. And it features this really shitty guy. I forget what his name is. He has like this weird name, like Warner or Hampton or something. And he coaches girls on their college auditions. And the way he coaches the girl in this episode is by being like, look, your schnoz is so freaking big. Like, there's no way you're making it in this business. So you're getting a nose job. So he forces her to get a nose job. That was his like coaching.
And are they singers or?
Yeah.
So, okay. So it's like the Swan or for singers.
No, it's not even that. He's just a dick. He's just like, no, there's no way you're making it in this business. And then her audition song was I'm the Greatest Star from Funny Girl, which is like a Jewish character. It's like you shaved off your nose, so now you can't be in any of these like great shows featuring Jewish people. I mean, I guess she could, but he's just like, there's no roles for you. There's nothing. No one would ever cast you in a musical. So it's just all sorts of fucked up. Oh my God. And I was getting riled up, and then my mic stopped working, and it was just such a disaster. But you guys will like it.
My God. I can't wait. I'm excited. That sounds great.
Okay. Ritu says there is no legal way to access Sister Wives' newest season when it aired last fall. Had to watch it on Facebook. I didn't even know you could do that. Huh. Last night I found it airing in the middle of the night, totally taping the episodes.
Oh, tell me you grew up in the 90s without telling me you grew up in the 90s. You're taping the episodes?
Taping. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I would stay home every Friday and watch South Park, and I would tape it, and I would stop it when a commercial would start, and then start it. Like I would edit out commercials by myself.
So nostalgic.
Yeah. Speaking of Sister Wives, does anybody, correspondent Jean's in the chat. She said, wouldn't a nose job possibly affect her singing voice?
Yes.
Yeah. Why do you think I didn't get rid of this schnoz?
That's scary. Yeah. Anytime that you have any type of work done here, it's
anywhere here.
Yeah.
I had to go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe I should have gone on Next Big Thing because I don't know if we've had this discussion or not before, but I auditioned for American Idol.
I wasn't allowed to, Julie.
Why?
Because I'm Canadian.
Oh, but there's Canadian Idol.
I know, but I was in the US that whole time.
Oh my God, that's not fair.
It's like my computer and phone.
Well, you didn't miss out on much because they didn't even let me through the first audition. So,
well, fuck that. I did audition for the next acapella star or something.
Oh, cool.
I was in an acapella group in New York.
That sounds awful. That sounds like a nightmare to me. Acapella.
It was a nightmare. It was
awful. That's hard. I did. I was a Victorian caroler at Dollywood, Amanda.
I've been a Victorian caroler too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Actually, that was the easiest gig I had because we went all over the park singing, and if it was raining or something, we didn't have to work that day, but we still got paid. If we went and did a performance somewhere in the community, we got a full day's pay for one performance. I think we did probably a TV spot or something, and you're literally working like 10 minutes and you get paid for your full day. You go home. It was fantastic.
Now, we were talking earlier this morning about, you sent a TikTok of like a singing Telegram girl. And I was like, you just unlocked a core college memory for me, where I worked as a singing Telegram girl. And it's like me being Super Grover. It's really good money for 10 minutes of work.
Yeah.
But it's like, but your soul, you're selling your soul for this. And it's just 10 minutes of pure embarrassment and self-hatred.
Yeah, I mean, this chick shows up in like a giant heart costume.
Yeah, I didn't have to do that.
She's at the gym. She comes to the gym to sing Sexy Thing to this guy who's like super hot. And I'm like, I would want to die. But probably great money. But the reason I sent that to you was I had no idea that you had been a telegramist before. But I was thinking of when you were in middle school and your dad sent...
Oh, the barbershop quartet.
The barbershop quartet.
Yep. Well, I was in gym class wearing my gym clothes.
That's what I was thinking of. And I was asking if it gave you PTSD. So,
I mean, anything relating to theater just gives me PTSD.
Yeah.
I remember one of the singing Telegram things I did, it was at ASU on campus. I had to walk into a classroom. This was on Valentine's Day. Oh my God, this is so tragic. I had to walk in and interrupt the class. The teacher didn't even know this was going to happen, but it was me and like one other person, I think. And we had to like interrupt the class. And we're like, we're here to give somebody a Valentine's Day gift. And it was like, Jenny and Chris, come on down.
Oh
and
my God.
Nothing happened. And then we found out later that day that she had broken up with him that morning. So
that is the greatest.
Awful.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about the Tonys, but I was just going to ask, what's your favorite Tony performance? But you don't watch the Tonys.
I have no idea. I don't ever watch the Tonys. It's just something that I never remember. You guys talk about it like every year. So that's what I listen to and go off of.
All right. Well, they're on tonight. So I was going to go over to Daphne's, but they're airing like the first half on Pluto TV. And then the second half you have to watch on like ABC Family or something.
What?
I'm like, I'm not doing all this. There's no way Ron's figuring out how to. So no.
Oh, that's interesting. That's weird.
All right, let's see what else I got on my docket here. Okay, real important piece of info here. The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Let's talk about that. Now, it already ended. Me and Jodie have talked about it, but I could listen every week of my entire life to people talking about people's thoughts.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? And we've gotten in fights on the group chat about that.
Number one question, child, like, innocent abused child or evil mastermind adult? Which one do you think?
Okay. Our original fight was that you were like, she was clearly a child. And I'm like, no, this is an adult. And my mom thought she was an adult. What? And after watching it, I'm like, she was a kid.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they show a lot of photos and videos. And if you just zero in on her face, that is the face of a child.
That is true.
Can you imagine being 8 years old and being dropped off at an apartment complex to live by yourself?
I might love it, actually.
My kid can barely make ramen noodles. Like, that's not happening, babe.
Right.
She's almost 16. Can you imagine?
Yeah. All that said, though, she did come after her parents, or like, didn't she try to like drag her mom into like an electric fence?
She's literally like, she was like the height of a Chucky doll, and you're trying to tell me that she grabbed a full-grown woman and dragged her to an electric fence?
All right, well, let's
say superhuman.
So she wasn't successful, but what if this child was trying to drag you toward an electric fence? I'd be like,
but
I don't want to
who's to say that even happened?
That's true. I mean, Michael.
Where are the
Michael's a reliable narrator.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I little news here. What are your thoughts? Are you a meat eater, Julie?
Yes.
Yeah, you like chicken?
Yep.
You know who else likes
Oh.
chicken? Howie the crab.
You sent us a photo. See, I'm not as disturbed as Jodie. I do think it's strange, but I have a lot of strange pets as well. You sent us a picture the other day in the group chat. What was it of?
It was of Howie's mom, and Howie was like crawling all over her back, and she was like in her hair.
Yeah,
as if she was a hair thing.
It's weird.
This is a picture of Howie with a crocheted, like, roasted chicken hat on her head. On a leash.
I'm a fan of anybody that can make something out of nothing. And Howie the Crab's mother has made something out of nothing. So good for you. Like Bad Baby, the Catch Me Outside girl, and Howie the Crab's mom. Good for you, girl.
Now you own like a petting zoo in your basement.
Yeah,
I would like to talk about this.
I mean, I have 2 dogs, a cat. We have a pet rat. We have breeder rats for our snakes. We have snakes. We have all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a zoo.
I was bit by a rat one time. I had to get a tetanus shot.
Yeah, it happens. They're feisty.
It was a pet rat. Now, is this something that you've always just kind of had, or is this like?
No, this is my husband's passion project for sure. Okay. We went into a pet store one day, or to like a reptile shop one day, and we saw this beautiful all white ball python snake. And my husband's like, "Yeah, I used to breed those," and I'm like, "That's fucking weird." And we took him home, and I fell in love with him. And chicken of the sea, that's hilarious. That's a good one. So then we just ended up, it's his passion project, so we breed ball pythons, and yeah, I think they're cool. All different. I
don't mind snakes or reptiles. Like, the bugs bother me.
Yeah, I breed bugs for my crested geckos, but mealworms and dubia roaches, they're kind of gross, but that's good. It's good for them.
Jesus Christ.
I know, so it's weird.
Just like bugs.
We go to conventions and everything, but I can promise you when we go to conventions, we actually make sales. Unlike certain sister wives.
Kevin McMichael says Daphne needs to crochet Howie a hat. Don't give her any ideas, Kevin.
Oh.
All right. Let's talk about, you know what? I got really excited because you said something the other day, and I was like, this is a person finally in my life that I can talk to about this movie. And it's Requiem for a Dream. You like this movie.
I love this movie.
Everyone thinks I'm a psycho for this being my favorite movie.
I mean, Tusk is one of my favorite movies too.
Well, I mean, look what I got on the docket here.
Oh my god.
Okay. Wow. First of all, you're not comparing Tusk to Requiem for a Dream.
No, it's definitely on another level. Requiem for a Dream is fucking fantastic. Like, Jared Leto is insane. I mean, it's just so good. Ellen Burstyn, like you were saying, like rushing around her house cleaning like a maniac, so good.
Is anyone else out there like Requiem for a Dream? Because if you it's not an easy watch, but it is an easy watch if you just want to watch 4 amazing performances of these are all Oscar-worthy performances. If you want that, watch this. And also the commentary is so good by Darren Aronofsky.
He's my favorite. That.
I would I don't know how you get your hands on that, but it's so good. And Ellen Burstyn, she wasn't even a front runner that Oscars. She was kind of just like Ellen Burstyn.
That's because people are uncomfortable with movies that make them really deeply feel something. And Requiem for a Dream will deeply make you feel something. And I love movies like that because I feel like so much of life is just like going along with things. So if I can sit down and see something that makes my skin crawl or makes me feel like sick to my stomach because I'm feeling so deeply about it, that's why I love it. It's so
people in the chat like it. Good. These are people. Jodie hates it. I made her watch it for a TRP episode and she was like pissed at me. She was mostly upset about the ass to ass part. I'm like, that's the most upsetting part to you.
It's very uncomfortable. It's a very memorable video. It's a very memorable scene because when you are deeply in addiction, you will literally do anything to get your fix.
I've like chilled.
And that's what it shows you. It's like, you go from being like a normal everyday person to someone who's willing to just go down and do anything to get.
Yeah, and that's what the movie's about, is just watching. Yep. It's just seasons. It's 3 seasons. It's not even 4 seasons, just showing like, look how great things are right here where you're just kind of smoking pot and doing a little bit of coke and heroin. And Ellen Burstyn is just on these weight loss drugs. And it's just and then the next season, things are kind of getting worse. And then that winter sequence, it just goes winter.
It is just a snowball effect. It is awful.
Holy shit. And they do this really cool effect where they have like, they do that thing where like the person is wearing like a body cam that's like focused on their face. So like as they're walking, it's like all like disoriented. And there's this amazing score with it. And then Ellen Burstyn has this monologue in the middle of it about the red dress. Remember that? Where she's talking to Jared Leto and she's like, what am I living for, Harry? Like, why am I washing the dishes? I mean, I do them, but why am I doing them? I have nothing.
Yeah. And as somebody who's struggled with my weight my entire life and has done everything from the diet pills to weight loss surgery to get my weight under control, I absolutely can totally and completely relate to that feeling that if you could just get into that red dress, if you could just lose those 20 pounds, like your whole life would be different. And I can relate to it. Oh, man.
And then like, this is kind of a spoiler, but like not really. In that winter sequence, which is kind of the end of the end, she's walking around the city, like all like tweaked out, and she's wearing the red dress and it's like way too baggy on her because she's lost so much weight. But even as like, especially as someone who again also like struggles with their weight, you watch that and I'm like, even though I know that she's going to go off the deep end, I'm like, I kind of wish I had those drugs.
Yeah,
because she does get skinny really fast. Yeah. So it's amazing.
My issue has always been food addiction. I try to be really open about like my struggles with food and everything, but the worst thing is that being addicted to something that you have to have in your life every day to survive. I can't tell you how many times I thought to myself, I wish I was addicted to drugs. I wish. Yeah. Because then at least I would be skinny. Or at least I would be able to hide
to as you have to walk the tiger 3 times a day. It's not like drugs where you like can quit and never do it again. You have to eat.
Yeah. If you're an alcoholic, you cannot go to bars. You cannot have alcohol in your house. So I mean, oh man.
But anyway,
I have not seen Men. I don't know what that's about, but I like being uncomfortable.
I've heard of that I listen to a lot of film podcasts. It's apparently kind of funny, but in like a really fucked up way. And then Kevin says, have you seen The Barbarian? Justin Long is in it and it's as fucked up as Tusk. Now you love Barbarian, right?
I love the first half of Barbarian.
Which one is Barbarian?
So it's the one where the guy who plays Pennywise in the new It. I
got it. Yeah. His name. The mother, right?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So the first half of that movie is brilliant because it's like this woman is doing everything right. She's not drinking from the glass that he pours for her. She's sleeping in the bedroom with the door locked. She's taken a photo of his ID to send to a friend. Like she's just doing everything right, but you know that something is wrong and it makes you uncomfortable. Going down into the basement, it makes you uncomfortable. But the second that it switches into this weird off the wall.
It's like a bait and switch, right? Which I kind of like.
Yes.
It's like Psycho.
I didn't like it.
It's like you think it's going some way, but now it's like, oh no, now we're going to follow this story.
I didn't like that because I loved the whole, is this a good guy? Is this a bad guy feeling that first half gave me. And so I made my husband watch the first half of it. And then that moment where you see what's really going on, as soon as that happened, I turned it off and I was like, that's all you have to watch. You're going to hate the second half. But the first half is so good. Oh, man.
Have you ever seen the movie Hard Candy with Elliot Page? That is a
Yes.
great movie too.
Mhm.
See, guys, this is the kind of conversations I can't have with Jodie because she doesn't like weird shit. But
Yeah.
Julie and Justine, like, honestly,
We love weird
listen
shit.
to Wrestling Bitch Face. They are constantly talking about like scary movies that I always hear about, but I'm never going to watch because there's like I don't understand why you like them, but
Justine just went this weekend to Comic-Con. I think it was in Niagara Falls, and she has all these pictures that she took with Damien Leone, who's like the creator of Terrifier, and David Howard Thornton, who is the Art the Clown in Terrifier and Terrifier 2. And so we were both so stoked. I was like, oh my God, it's so cool. I wish I could have gone.
What makes you like that kind of stuff? It's so like the images like just stick in my mind so much, and they're so horrific. I don't know why.
It's creative and it's different, and it makes me feel something. I feel like, now in these days, everything is being remade. There's almost no creative new ideas. We're just remaking everything that we've all seen before. It's predictable. It's the same. I don't want to watch something that feels like I wasted my time. I want to feel something. I want to be surprised by something. I've actually gotten to the point, and I told Justine, I'm at the point where I no longer watch trailers for movies because they give you everything in the trailer.
I never do either.
You go to the movie, you know everything that is going to happen. And so I will look at a little blurb of the basic idea of what the movie is about, and then I'll go see the movie, and I enjoy it so much better. Like Scream 6. I did not watch a trailer for Scream 6. I love the Scream movies. I thought that movie was fantastic.
Maybe I'll watch that next because I do love Scream. That's like very much my childhood. So maybe I'll watch that.
I would say Scream 6 was my second favorite after the original. It was very good. Yeah.
Well, I might as well buy that today and knock that out. Yeah. I'm on this weird TikTok thing where it's like all these pages that show like 10-minute clips of movies every day, and then they just upload the next one. So I'm enjoying that kind of watching.
Yeah.
Where I just get a little taste and then I can walk away.
I love it. Black Swan Gothica said that Doug Bradley from Hellraiser goes to the conventions a lot. Justine has a photo with him too. So that was cool.
Black Swan, another Darren Aronofsky movie that I loved.
Black Swan is uncomfortable. Have you seen Midsommar?
No, I won't watch that. That I can already tell it's gonna just because images live in my head so much that like I can't get over it.
See, and I like that. That's why I love Tusk so much. And like, a lot of people, I would say probably 90% of the people that listen to me talk about Tusk all the time and finally watch it will be like, this is disgusting. I hated this. Why does she like it? But the reason that I like it is because God.
Like, I mean, let's get into our Tusk discussion. It was all leading up to this really anyway.
Okay. It makes you, again, uncomfortable. And you think about it all the time. It's just like, for me, I think about Tusk all the time. And because it's weird.
I do too. And I hate it. It's so awful.
But to me, that means something. If you think about it, especially if you don't even want to think about it and you're thinking about it, it made an impression on you. Tell me how many other movies, Requiem for a Dream, there's only a handful of movies that make such a strong impression on you that you think about it. And that's why I like it. It made an impression. Hereditary too. Somebody said Hereditary.
Hereditary is an amazing movie, but that I would compare to, Requiem for a Dream, and that I can handle the horror of it because Toni Collette's acting performance is so freaking amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Toni Collette,
loving your voice, Julie.
Thank you, guys. Oh my God, Neopets. I was just talking to someone about Neopets the other day. I was like, do you remember Neopets? I was obsessed.
People are telling me to to watch Midsommar.
It's very creepy. But if you don't like stuff, if you don't want to continuously think about certain scenes in Midsommar, then you shouldn't watch it. But I love it.
Yeah, but I remember I just heard, I think on a podcast, when was Tusk? Like 2012, 13?
Is it that old? Oh, 14.
I know it was when I lived in like a certain apartment in New York. So, but I heard on a podcast someone saying Kevin Smith directed it, right?
He like so basically the idea came from some almost like a creepy pasta or something that someone had submitted some story and he was talking about it on his podcast and people were like, oh my God, you have to make a movie out of this. You have to turn this into something. And that's what happened. Like, I think that listener that submitted it got like a writing credit or a creative credit in the movie. And pretty much, I think they had like a $1 million budget, which obviously 99% of that had to go to special effects, right?
Like, yeah.
So pretty much everyone in that movie did it for free. It's like Johnny Depp's daughter. Johnny Depp was in the movie uncredited. He's not credited at all.
Freaking Sixth Sense was in it.
Yeah, Haley Joel Osment, Justin Long. Like everybody in that movie basically made it for free. So I mean, like, it's just, I just love it. I love the story of it. It creeps me out. I think about that photo that you put up. I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
the ending is so freaking tragic. And well, I had heard on a podcast
so ridiculous.
Quentin Tarantino had said in an interview that Tusk was the most fucked up movie he'd ever seen. And so that obviously intrigued me. And like, if Quentin Tarantino finds this fucked up,
exactly.
So I kind of looked up what it was about and I was like, holy shit. And then I found it on, again, this was like early 2010s, but I found it on YouTube where like you have to play the clip in like a tiny little corner of the screen so that it doesn't get like flagged.
Oh, yeah.
So I watched it in a tiny corner of a YouTube clip, kind of scrolling ahead, and just the shit that I saw in that. And it's not even really like gory. It's just, it's like Silence of the Lambs where it's such an emotional, like killer.
It's a journey. It's, it's not something you're going to watch and be like, oh man, that should have won an Oscar. Like it definitely is not, but it will stick with you and you'll think about it a lot.
I put it on the same vein as Human Centipede, where it's like, this is such a weird idea, but like,
Justine and I talked about that on our last episode of Wrestling Bitch Face too, because we were like, it's one of Human Centipede sticks with you. You think about it. And when you think about it, it's not super gory and you actually don't see a lot.
You don't see anything.
No. It's all in your head. And that's what makes it so great, is it's something that you think about that bothers you, that makes you uncomfortable, but you didn't have to see all the goriness of it.
Mandesha says there's a Japanese horror movie that is beloved by everyone that I watched maybe an hour of and had to turn it off. To this day, I can't even speak about it because it makes me nauseated. Is it Green Room or something like that? Or Audition? I don't know.
Green Room, I think Green Room is not, I don't think that's Japanese.
I'm thinking of something.
Mandesha, why would you like leave a comment like that and not tell us who it is?
Yeah, figure out what that is, Amanda.
Come on.
Yeah, Human Centipede though. If I was in the front, everyone's dying within 10 seconds. I'm like, come in. It's already coming.
Like, you have to lie. You'd have to tell that guy you're constipated all the time, so he'd put you in the back.
I don't want to be in the back. That person dies first.
Well, then you'd have to tell the truth. And you'd be in the front.
I'm blasting out shit water to these two people behind me like every 10 minutes. Okay. So what else we got here? Requiem for a Dream, Tusk. What else have you Cruel Summer. Let's talk about Cruel Summer really quick.
Let's lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, my God. But what do we think about it?
So last night I watched the first 2 episodes. I loved the first season of Cruel Summer. This is very ABC Family teen drama. It's by Freeform, so that's basically the same thing, right? First season, fantastic. Second season, what I love about this show is that you are constantly guessing. You're going back and forth. What happened? The whole first episode, you think a certain person has died, and then you find out because
someone's going to die, and like the way they do the timeline is really good because like she'll be wearing overalls for like one timeline, and then she'll be like kind of gothic or emo in another timeline.
Yes.
And like you said last night, the freaking record, what's it called, the record drop?
soundtrack.
The soundtrack is so, within the first 3 minutes, you hear 3 songs that bring you right back to.
Oh yeah, the first 30 seconds they play "My Own Worst Enemy" by Lit, which is like one of my favorite 90s songs, and it just puts you in that moment. You remember like what you were doing and what part of your life when that song was coming out. I also like how they changed the color scheme from the camera. You know, you go from like a bright color, you know, crisp white kind of aspect to this dingy, almost like sepia toned camera. I love how they play with the lighting, and then you're kind of in a blue, darker hue. It's a good show. And again, it's not going to win any awards for its performances, but I love to be thinking about what happened here.
I bought the whole season on Amazon for like $16.
Nice.
So Amanda says it is Audition.
Okay.
Everyone's guessing it's probably Audition.
Yep. So I've not seen that. But
I think it's like it's like a revenge torture thing.
See, and I'm not such a fan of like now I do love Terrifier, that's one thing, but I'm not a super fan of the torture gore stuff. I like an implied gore.
Thank you. Yeah, and I don't mind a jump scare either. I love it.
I love jump scares.
Yeah,
love it.
It's like one of my favorite moments in movies that nothing is even happening, but where I was in a movie theater and the whole audience went, "Whoa!" was in what's it called? Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
Where it shows just it has like the tracker of the time, and it just shows her like standing over her boyfriend's bed, and the time is just going.
Yes, creepy.
The whole audience went, "Oh!"
Now, I'm not really a fan of those movies because I don't like the paranormal stuff, but I did see one of those movies in the theater, and I do remember that feeling of, oh, what's gonna happen here?
See, that's the kind of horror movie I like, where you're not seeing anything, but it's more like, holy shit. Dakota Blue Sky says Tusk. I can't even handle Misery.
Well, Misery seems more kind of graphic, right? We got like leg breaking and stuff like that.
No, we got foot break. Like, I mean, I can literally never watch.
I don't think I've ever seen that full movie.
Like watching my own ankle break in both directions. Also, there's another Stephen King movie with Kathy Bates called Dolores Claiborne, which is
I've never seen that.
Oh, Julie, watch it today.
Is it good? Okay.
Oh God, it's so good in the way they use the cinematography. You will fucking love it. Please watch Dolores Claiborne.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna keep watching Cruel Summer. I think it's good. It's not gonna win any awards, but like it's an easy watch. Like Yellow Jackets got way too like intense, where I'm like, do I have to pay attention to this right now? Latrice, I need you to figure out what you're doing and fuck off. People are talking about, where is Jodie? Katrina says she's just taking a few weeks off for the summer, like random weeks. I'm gonna have guests, and they're all some of my best friends, so you guys should still tune in. We can all talk to each other. Brooke Daly says movies like Taken and Hostel are too much for me. Agreed. Nothing else really scares me. I want to make my daughters watch them before leaving for college, but I don't know if I can do them a second time. We'll definitely make your daughter watch a lot of documentaries too. True crime documentaries.
Oh, I just started a documentary. It is so disturbing. It's called How to Create a Sex Scandal. It's on HBO.
Okay.
Have you heard of that? I've scrolled through it like 1,000 times because I thought that it was going to be something different than it was, but it's basically about this like swingers club in a small town in Texas. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I've scrolled past it 100 times. Well, it's basically not about that. It's about like child abuse and all kinds of crazy stuff. But then you're wondering as you get through a little bit, is it true? And that's where it starts to get interesting. It's kind of like the story back in the 80s where people were saying all this awful, awful things about like this preschool. Do you remember that? During the Satanic Panic, they were saying, oh, at this preschool, they were abusing all these children and like talking about like sacrificing them and stuff like that. And it ended up all being a bunch of bullshit. It's kind of like that, where it's like you hear this crazy story, it's insane, and then things start to unravel where you're asking yourself, did this actually happen? Is this all a lie? So that's where I am. It is pretty disturbing.
There's this play called, and it's also a movie called The Children's Hour. Have you heard of that? It's about like two teachers that are female, and like this scandal comes out that they're lesbians, Julie. And then like it's this whole scandal, and then you kind of spend the whole time thinking like, were they in love with each other or weren't they? And it is revealed at the end, but it has obviously a tragic ending because it takes place in like 30s or 40s or something. So that's fun. But let's continue with sex scandals and talk about the Belle of the Ball this week. Shiny, happy people. Duggar family secrets. Now, I knew nothing about the Duggar family leading up to this whatsoever. I knew that Josh Duggar looks exactly like my ex-boyfriend, Bacon Fingers, in his mugshot. Yeah, real cool. But I knew that he had, molested kids, but I didn't realize that it was his own siblings until I watched this documentary. Now, I've only watched 2 episodes of this. You watched the whole thing.
Right. There's 4 episodes. So I think you can... I didn't realize I had finished it. I was like on the last 2 minutes, I'm like, I'm going to go finish it thinking there was extra episodes. But I have been kind of watching the Duggars throughout the years. I was a Christian for the first 30 years of my life. So I kind of paid attention. What kind of
Christian were you? Like
just non-denominational, nothing crazy. Okay. Just, your normal cult religion.
Right. Well, I was Catholic, but like
okay. Yeah. I went to like a Roman Catholic Easter service with my aunt once, and on Easter.
Oh,
and it was
I've sung a lot of those. And
very interesting.
Sucks. Yeah,
there's a lot of like water being splashed on people. Like
Easter was the time where the priest will also like baptize new people coming into the church, and like on Holy Thursday, the priest will go around and you sing something like one verse over and over, and he washes people's feet with his hands. It's a whole thing.
It's a thing. Yeah. So I grew up non-denominational Christian, and kind of the Duggars were on my radar just as like Christian programming, and they kind of made everything look so sweet and wonderful. And Michelle just speaks with this voice that is so ridiculous. Nobody talks like that.
I know.
And so they seemed like this perfect family. I remember in one of the first seasons, they've got all the kids helping build their house. Like they built their own massive house for all these people to live in. And then when that thing broke about Josh Duggar, everything went crazy.
But so you were surprised? Like, were people surprised?
Yes, I believe so. So the first revelation was that he had molested some of his sisters, and then you see the girls going on TV and everything, and they're talking about like, we've forgiven him. We wish this had never come out. I mean, how traumatic to not only have something like that happen to you, but to also have to go out and talk about it to the public. Yeah. It's completely re-traumatizing. And it was shocking and surprising, and nothing really came of it. The girls kind of all said like, we've recovered from this. We've done our therapy. Everything's going to be okay. And then you didn't really hear anything for a little bit. So you never had heard anything really? You kind of just knew they were a Christian family.
I was always part of Jodie's, like the one Facebook group, Orchard of Snark. And I would always see, but it was like when Christine left Cody, and I was like, oh, some woman left Cody, like one of the wives left. And it was a huge deal, but I didn't realize it. That's kind of how this is, where I was like, oh yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That, I mean, this whole thing is just why are these men doing this? Is it just for the power, or is it because they hate women so much? Or like, I don't understand why they want so many children brought into the world, and for women is it just a power trip thing, and is it learned, or is it within
So,
you?
from a Christian standpoint, you are told go out and multiply, and basically
Right.
meaning we are raising and creating vessels that will go into the world and teach our ethics, our ideas, our gospel. And then those people will become leaders in our world. So it really is like Black Swan Gothica said, world domination. That's pretty much it. They just kind of think that the more children that you have that can go out into the world and work in the government and serve in missions, and that's why they go all over the world, and they're
Yeah, and
serving in
it is like
missions.
Cody Brown, where he's just so fucking proud of himself. Look what a man I am, that I put my seed in 23 kids or however many kids they fucking have. It's gross. I will say, now, my favorite part of this documentary so far, and like I would watch Tusk a million times before wanting to sit through this part again, is where that pastor shows an entire like stadium how to spank a child, how to spank a young boy. I am not like thrown off by that stuff at all. Like I don't really care about watching stuff about people or children, but that was like, my heart was breaking. That was horrible to watch. I don't know how that was like for you, who is a mother of a son. What was that like to watch that?
I mean, my kid has been spanked one time in their entire life, like as they ran out into the street and almost got hit by a car.
Right. But this was like a tender, like lovely spanking. And
insane.
I hate.
And
rough.
From what I can see, I believe that this book is still available on Amazon. People were losing their mind on that. Okay, yes, we'll talk about that, Karen. I didn't realize that was the first one. But there's this book. It's like How to Train Up a Child, and basically what they're doing is they're teaching their babies. They are putting babies on a blanket.
Blanket training.
Yes, as the baby tries to kind of crawl away or explore, they're being hit. They're being hit with rods. They're being hit with whatever is around, and teaching
to get
them
rid of the sin that they're born with, so that they're obedient.
I mean, it's basically the exact opposite of how I have raised my child. I have raised my child to question everything, to like stand up for yourself, to, it's a complete opposite. I've basically may have raised a version of Addie from
from
Teen Mom.
Addie.
But yeah, so I mean, that's basically how they start. They're starting with babies that are so terrified to question anything or to travel outside of their boundaries that they just take that into their life in the future, so that they're easy to manipulate and control from day one. It's sick. It's very, very sick. Going back.
Tell us about the Ashley Madison thing.
So the Ashley Madison thing was that several years ago, did you hear about Ashley Madison's like credit card and email addresses being?
I remember when that was released, and I think that Snooki's husband, Gianni, was on there.
Ooh, a lot of people were on there, and apparently they're not smart enough to like use prepaid debit cards or email addresses. But yeah, Josh Duggar's email address was attached to an Ashley Madison account, which is 100% designed for people who want to have affairs and cheat on their spouses. It's all about like confidentiality and secrecy and how to have affairs. So that went crazy. And then they started to reveal additional things. I think there was like a porn star that came out and said that she had sex with Josh Duggar.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
And so kind of the eye was on him. That was one of the first things that came out. And then the sisters being molested by him. And then they ended up finding child sex abuse materials on his computer. So
fun.
Crazy. On his work computer. Why does anyone think in these days that they're going to be able to?
Because I think men are just so confident that they just become brazen.
It's crazy. Random Cat says he used his grandma's physical address. I didn't know that. That is crazy. Wow. And so the child sex abuse material stuff comes out. I believe he got busted twice for that, if I remember properly. But infuriating.
How old was he? Is he
in his 20s, I believe, the first time that something came out? He's in his 30s now. He's aging like curdled milk.
But he's in jail for like ever, right?
I hope so. If
anyone knows, let us know.
I love it when like child molesters go to prison. It's like my favorite thing ever.
Yeah. Mary P says, I remember seeing this in the doc. The porn star said that Josh, like, it was consensual, but it was like not like it.
12 years. That's so not fair.
Oh no.
And he has a bunch of kids. Like his kids are the age of the children that were found on his computer. I feel like if a man ever, or a person ever has this type of materials on their computer, they should never be able to access their children again. It's really sick.
Completely agree. Disgusting. Do you want to move on to something a little more, a little like more?
Yeah, we've been real dark this episode.
We don't have to think about anything. This is.
Yeah. You are muted, Amanda.
I know, I saw it. It's at least notifying me this time. Let's talk about Vanderpump Rules Reunion Part 3. I know you and Justine already talked about this. Everyone
did. Yes. We put it on all of our deep dive discussions about the reunion. The 3 episodes are on our Patreon account. So we talk about a little bit on the main feed, but mostly on Patreon. But yeah, so you and I played bingo.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I was having such an issue with that because like I was paying. I couldn't X out of the TikTok live that I was watching because I wouldn't be able to find it again, and I was so like overstimulated.
It didn't even occur to me that you were going to be using your phone for both. Cause I used my iPad to watch the feed. And then I was bingoing on my phone.
I have 3 TVs in my house and the TV I use the most is just on my phone. Cause I just like to be lying down, like doing this. And then I drop it on my face and
you see, you got to get one of these. This saves me from that. It's called a love handle.
See, I used to have a pop socket, but I used to like fuck with it too much because of my OCD, so I had to get rid of it. Yeah. Well, it was just I was constantly just doing this looks dirty. Okay. Part 3 reunion. Now, I agree with Justine when she said that people don't think that the big reveal is that big of a deal, but I agree that it is. Like, it does change. It just shows also how much lying, and it's also like, what is the utility of all these lies? Like he tells the truth about like 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, 18 different facts, but then the other ones he lies about. It doesn't make any sense. And I think that Rachel comes off better than I thought she was going to.
Really?
Yes. I think she is very stupid. I agree with you that she's a pageant girl.
Yes.
I think that she's just lost. She's wandering through life right now, just like blindly. But I think she does have remorse. And I think you said this too. It is a sense of like, do you think that you are going to be that special that this will not happen to you? Because this is exactly what he did to Ariana, exactly what he did to Kristen. But I've been in this. I was with a guy who I found out he was married after 6 months, and he did convince me that I was special. I'm like, okay, well, and then he did divorce her. And then while we were dating, he got married to someone else secretly, but then we were still dating. So it was like, and I wasn't special, but I always felt like he broke me down so much, but also like building me up at the same time that I thought, oh no, she was obviously, his ex-wife is crazy. What a crazy bitch she is.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've been through similar stuff before.
Yeah. The thing is that what's different is that Rachel was in the inner circle. She knew that he was with Ariana. She knew they were living together. She knew all of these things that you didn't know. You were just going off of what you were being told. So she had the mixture of what she was being told by Sandoval, which was all lies about how they never have sex and they don't love each other and they're only together because they own the house together and blah, blah, blah. And it's hard to break up. And they're on the show, etc. But she also was on the inner circle seeing things.
And she could see that Ariana wasn't a bitch. And it was also her actual friend.
Yes. I don't think a lot of people are out there saying, oh, Rachel's just stupid. She's just so dumb, blah, blah, blah. I don't think she's dumb. I think that, book smart wise, is she dumb? Yes, she's a moron. Does she not understand that Lala was saying, I've been called a mistress? I've been called a
She really thought she was making a point there. And
she's like, you said you were a mistress and a homemaker. It's like, you dumb bitch. That's not what I meant. Like, yes, is she basically dumb? Yes. But she is a pageant girl. She loves competition. She wants to be number one. She wants to be the
girl.
She literally wants a crown and a sash saying she's the prettiest girl on stage.
Mm.
And so that's the personality. That's the issue here is, she sees Ariana and she says, I want to be chosen. I'm better. I'm smarter. I'm prettier. I'm this, I'm that. And that's what she was out for.
You or Justine who compared her to Robin Brown, because I think that's spot on.
Robin Brown's much smarter, but
she's much more. Robin Brown's a much worse person, I think.
Yes.
Ariana.
Yeah.
Like she's rotten down to her core.
Mm-hmm.
I also have rewatched the reunion several times. Lala and Ariana really do go hard on Raquel, and I guess it's warranted, but it's pretty. I feel like in 10 years this isn't going to age that well. Watching that, watching what they're saying to her.
We do have to remember that this was filmed only a couple of weeks after this news broke. It was so raw and fresh. And I can tell you with experience that the way that Ariana laid into Tom and Rachel is how I laid into my ex-husband when I found out all the shit he was doing to me. You are nothing. You are a loser. You just say you have the most vitriolic things to say to someone. You just want to destroy them. And, most of us don't get the opportunity to do that on stage in front of millions of people. So I would absolutely have done the same thing.
I never really did that to him, but I did send his mother an email saying that the world will be a better place when she dies. And I thank God, your son's shitty dick couldn't impregnate me so that there's no more of your DNA out there.
Oh my God. See?
But I mean,
didn't that make you feel good to say that?
Yeah. And then she just wrote me back saying, you're just drunk. You're an alcoholic. And I was like, all right.
Good one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. That's the one thing he would use against me.
And I have to admit, when I met my ex-husband, I had heard from his ex-girlfriend, hey, I know you guys were together while we were together, which we were not. We had not talked to each other when they broke up. We knew, I didn't even know who he was when they broke up. I know, because it doesn't make sense to me how someone can go from being in such a loving relationship with me to just walking out the door one day and blocking me and never talking to me again. The only thing that makes sense is that you guys had to be having an affair while we were together. And so, the timeline wise, we were not together. We had not had an affair. He had just walked right out on her, blocked her on everything randomly out of nowhere. And so me being 24 at the time, I thought, well, he just must not have been that into you. Sorry about it. Now he's married to me and we have this whole life together, and sorry you suck. And, now we're all happy together. And then he did the exact same fucking thing to me. And I can tell you that feeling of like, sorry, you suck. I'm just like so pretty and smart and wonderful and like whatever.
You kind of get off on it.
You do. That feeling, I will just be transparent, was like on another level of that. I was this amazing woman.
I would like post stuff on Facebook and tag him in it so that she could see it and feel bad.
I remember sending her some real nasty messages that I never should have sent someone that I didn't know their situation or anything, but I was that arrogant bitch that was like, I'm number one. So I can see Rachel having that feeling. And I'll tell you what, when I had that moment where I was still, in what I thought was a loving relationship and everything was cool. And then one day my husband comes home from work, packs a bag, is like, I don't love you, walks out the fucking door, and then calls the cops on me, accusing me of abuse that never happened. I felt like a real fucking asshole when it happened to me.
Yeah, yes, Ray, that was Bacon Fingers. And we call him Bacon Fingers because he threatened to sue me if I ever said his name. It's like,
and he ate raw bacon because he's a fucking weirdo.
And he ate raw bacon.
I need to remember that we're on YouTube and not be so bad.
I don't give a shit. If you're watching this, hi. Let's move on to just quickly. By the way, guys, we're not doing the book today because the book is like sacred. That's like Jodie. Jodie has to be part of it. By the way, my sound is probably different because I just unplugged my mic. I can't deal with the unmuting shit. I have the new cord coming in today, so relax.
Yeah, well, also, you guys, make sure that you are donating via PayPal so we don't have like mic issues anymore.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I even have a banner for that. I'm
sign up for Patreon, all that good stuff.
It's fun stuff going on over here. Yeah. But let's talk about Gary's Graham a little bit here. Gary Shirley.
I haven't seen Gary's Graham in a long time.
All right, well, let's check out this one.
Oh, what is that?
That looks like it's going to come out of you
the same way it went
out of your asshole, looking the exact same way. This is a baked potato bar. You can pick only one. Which one would you pick? At Christina Shirley. By the way, these are 6-inch plates. LOL. They look big in the picture. Sure, Jan. This is, what would you describe this as?
Slop.
At least this is a baked potato bar, so there's a baked potato under there somewhere.
And why is it called a baked potato bar? Does he mean like, we got baked potatoes and then we put all the toppings out as like a bar, like a buffet style? Okay, that makes more sense.
This just looks like a plate of farts.
Like, how has this man not had a heart attack at this point? I
really don't know that. Here's another one. Again, plate of diarrhea this time. Okay, sorry. This is what it ended up looking like. Yum. Stuffed pepper soup.
I do love stuffed bell peppers, but I don't think I've ever thought about it in a soup.
I mean, just the pipes in these people's the pipes in his home must be having.
The relish tray said they lost a ton of weight, and this must be why it's going out as soon as it comes.
Gary did lose a ton. Well, yeah, he has lost a ton of weight. In the season I'm covering right now, he looks like he's about to explode. Okay, let's see. What's this one? Okay, you guys were right. Give yourself a pat on the back. This was some good stuff. I couldn't have done it without my wife, at Christina Shirley. Thanks for doing most of the dishes. You're deaf. One of the most incredible peeps I know. Tons of spelling and grammar errors.
What is that, like a casserole?
I think it's a sandwich.
What?
It looks like there's bread under there. And then he just like shit on it and then poured hot gravy.
He just didn't even bother to tell us what it was. Oh.
No.
Does he have like some kind of recipe book or something? Because I feel like if you're going to post about recipes this much, you should be sharing it.
He sends out cookies, I think. I think he owns a cookie company. Let's do one more. Wait, what is this? This one I enjoyed. This is a enormous hoagie. Slap this together for my darling Leah. She enjoys a good sub every now and then, at Christina Shirley. This is for a 11-year-old child. This is like a party sub. I couldn't get my mouth around this thing.
No, that's like a 12-inch sub, it looks like.
He just slapped it together, though, at Christina Shirley. Thank God I got a bite of that.
Well, I gotta tell you, one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to sandwiches is like people always rave about like Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery, da 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 da. And this is like one of my weird pet peeves. It's a cold sandwich. Of course it's freaky fast. Why should it take more than 10 minutes to come to you? You literally picked a piece of bread and threw some meat and cheese on it and then threw it in a bag.
Yeah, but there's something about New York deli sandwiches that I'll never find it again.
The only sandwiches I like hot ones, like put it through that little machine and crisp it up.
I have one little segment. I wanted to go through like Sister Wives news, but like nothing has really happened. I pulled a couple Instagram pictures. Here's something Janelle wanted us to know, that she bought a mini Theragun. Best bring along investment for days and days of driving.
Those are good.
What is it?
It's basically like a massager that gets really intense. It's typically for like athletes and people who work out and have very sore bodies, but I guess Janelle needs it for driving.
Right. Here's another one. This is a real. Did I get my taste in 80s music from her? Check. Did she make me listen to the entire Glenn Campbell Best Hits album? Also, check. I think she's visiting Maddie right now. She needed us to know this. She also wanted us to know that she made a pizza the other day, and spoiler, turned out great.
That does look good. I'm hungry.
Turned out great.
So along the lines of music, let me ask you, because everybody that grew up in like 80s, 90s, our parents had cassette tapes that we would have to listen to in the car. And like, what were some cassette tapes that you would listen to on repeat, because we didn't have many of them, on road trips and stuff like that?
Neil Diamond, Best of, Bread, Cream, The Carpenters, and then Gypsy, the Bette Midler Gypsy.
Okay. Mine's very different. I would say the Celine Dion tape, that Tony Braxton's first tape. We listened to a lot of that. I remember on road trips just listening to the radio, and that Watermelon Crawl song was on all the time.
All right.
Break down, drive, do the watermelon crawl. That one.
She is very different.
Lots of country. Yes, it's a little bit different. A lot of Unchained Melody.
Okay. Latrice.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, a lot of, it was always the same things, and I just still know them all by memory.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, since we're not doing the book, I just have one little segment I'm adding in here for all my guests for the summer. And Jodie will be back intermittently. I think she's coming back a couple weeks in July. I think we're doing maybe all of August, or we're taking August off. We need to figure out when Sister Wives is coming back. But I thought I wanted to do a Think Fast Questions segment here. Where I'm just going to ask you shit and answer as quickly as possible.
This is where I'm probably going to get us in trouble. Let's do it.
A lot of it is like true crime stuff. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
All right. I should have like a theme song playing right now, but of course I didn't prepare that. Okay. Aunt Diane, drunk or tooth abscess?
Drunk.
Elisa
But
Lamb.
like, why would you put all those kids in your car?
I know, because she thought she was, she stopped at McDonald's for an orange juice. It was for
vodka.
Vodka, obviously.
But I like, as we go through these, I want to hear your answers too.
Okay. No, drunk. Elisa Lamb, manic episode or paranormal?
Manic episode. She's the one in the tank on the hotel, right?
Yeah, in the elevator.
Manic episode.
Yeah, I want it to be paranormal because it is so creepy, but it kind of just has to be a manic episode. I mean, she climbed up the side of that building. Like, have you watched the documentary on Netflix? Because like it has like all these.
It's just not that interesting to me. It's like somebody had an episode and ended up doing something dumb.
Well, that's a pretty crazy way to end up, though. Like she pulled
it's pretty crazy, but like I just don't need to watch 6 episodes about it.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely went on too long.
Yeah.
Okay. Stevie Wonder, blind or nah?
I love the theory that he's not blind, and so
I
choose to go
know.
with that.
Like I want him to know. What a great, like,
It's
on his
absurd.
deathbed, if he's like, I can see everything. Like,
It's absurd. He's
that's cool.
absolutely blind, but I choose to enjoy the theory that he's not.
Right. I mean, he did catch that mic though. You seen the video?
Yeah.
I mean, he caught it. No one else
I choose to believe that he's not, but I know he is.
All right. Who killed John Bonet?
The creepy Santa.
Huh? Say again.
Creepy Santa. They had like a creepy Santa at their party the night before, and he had, from what I believe, he had a history. He was arrested or something. So that is, I used to be a diehard Burke did it, and I am no longer. I think it was creepy Santa.
Now, have you seen the CBS documentary that me and Jodie always talk about?
Is it the one where they recreate things?
Yeah, it's a two-parter. That convinced me completely that it was Burke.
I don't think it was Burke. I think it was creepy Santa. It's just, Burke obviously had a lot of issues, but I also think like he was the big brother of a pageant girl, and all the attention and all the money and all the stuff went to the pageant girl, and he probably just was screaming for attention, wiping his poop everywhere and stuff like that. I don't think he murdered her. I think it was creepy Santa.
All right, people in the comments, Jean is saying, Joe in Salt Lake City is saying he's probably legally blind, so he can like see shadows. I guess I never even considered.
That's true, but they've always kind of made it out to be like he is blind, bro. He can't see anything, and so
right, yeah. I follow a lot of TikToks now of people that are currently going blind or are legally blind, and so I'm understanding that whole world a little better now. But I mean, it's just a fun
more fun
theory.
to think that he's not, and he's just really played the long game.
It's funny. Like it would be funny if he all of a sudden came out. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we know our answer on this, but Natalia Grace, child or adult?
Child.
Okay. 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 This is an interesting one. Who was the main villain, like the master villain on Sister Wives? Cody or Robin?
Robin.
You think?
Cody's dumb. Cody is just someone who wants to have a lot of money. He doesn't care how he gets it. If he has to like have his wives do all the work, then that's fine. He just doesn't want to do the work himself. Robin is an absolute evil mastermind, and he's a pawn in her life. Like he just will do anything for her, and that's that.
A date with Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
She says Mary. I mean, it could be Mary, actually. Based on the book, Mary's the one that kind of got him into the polygamy thing.
And maybe like Mary's not that into Cody and just did away with him, but then he did away with her, so I don't think she's winning anything.
I mean, he'd already broken down the wives so much already leading up to Robin, but then Robin was kind of a blessing because all three of the other women were kind of forced to become their own women and be like powerful, which really Cody doesn't like that woman having their own thoughts.
Ray thinks that creepy Santa killed John Bonet too. See?
Yep, I see. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to look into that theory a little more. Correspondent Jean says, I refuse to give Robin the credit of mastermind. I mean, she's stupid, but she's not like she's, wait, sorry, I keep clicking stuff. She's stupid. Like she's definitely dumb as rocks.
Yes.
But like emotionally, she's a criminal mastermind.
Mendez just said that the patriarchy is the main villain. You win. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Men in general.
Men are the villain. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Maura Murray, alive in Canada or wandered into the woods?
I don't know this total story. I can't give you an answer on that one because I don't really know the story.
Okay, you should look that one up because it is very interesting. That she had this weird relationship with her dad, but she kind of ran away from college and she accidentally crashed. And some man who like lived near that area came and found her, and she was like, no, I'm fine, don't call the cops. But he called the cops anyway. So then when the cops came, she was gone, but like there was all this alcohol in her back seat, and there was a can of like Diet Coke that had like wine in it.
Mm.
And so to that, I put, I mean, logically, she was probably wasted and didn't want to get in trouble. And then she wandered off into the woods.
Yeah.
And it was
Before
like
you even mentioned the alcohol, when you said that the guy was going to call the cops and she said, don't, I was like, oh, she was drunk. So she was drunk. She got in a wreck. She didn't want to get in trouble, ran into the woods, got lost. People get lost in the woods all the time.
Yeah.
I got lost on a walking trail 5 minutes from my work this week.
Yeah. I know it can happen. And it was like the middle of the night. But then also there's all these theories like some dogs tracked her scent to like the middle of the road and then it was gone. So like they think maybe she was caravanning with someone. So someone else picked her up and then she left. Maybe. And then there was like a dish rag in the car pipe, and that her dad had told her to do so that the car wouldn't I don't know, some car term.
I don't know, car related things.
Okay, yeah, people are saying Woods. Kimberly, date with K and K says Woods. Well, I'm gonna go with Kimberly because she's the true crime expert.
She knows things.
Yep. And Julia says she also hit her head pretty good on the windshield. Okay. There's like all these documentaries about her, but I would really recommend you just spending a day to.
Yes, I was going to ask that one as well. Did Carol Baskin kill her husband? So I was going to ask you, is he living in another country? Has he faked his own death and moved to another country? Because remember, she said that recently, that they found him. She's like, oh, they found him in this other country. He's alive and well.
Oh, then, I haven't been keeping up with that at all.
Well, then his kids came out and said, that's not true. There's no proof that my father is alive, that he's in the other country or whatever. Do you think she killed him?
I don't know. I mean, everyone in that tiger community seems wacko. So I wouldn't put it past her. And it would be a great way to get rid of a dead body is just feeding it to a bunch of tigers.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Everyone in that story is, Jean doesn't think he's dead. Ray says he's alive. Kimberly says, I know nothing, actually. It's okay. I feel like I can still go with you.
You know,
they were in on a fake death together. Okay, interesting. I love this. I'm going to keep these questions for next week when I ask Carlin.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Tusk, cinematic masterpiece or an abomination that should never be viewed by anyone else?
Cinematic masterpiece, duh. What's your answer?
I kind of agree with what you said, where like it sticks with you. It made an impression on me.
Yeah. What does everybody in the chat think? You love it or hate it?
But also, I just love whenever you bring it up on Resting Bitch Face. It's just because I almost feel like Justine is triggered by Tusk, like Jodie's triggered by Howie the Crab.
It always makes me happy. I just love those like long running inside jokes, especially when like you and Jodie have things, or whenever I hear a little ounce of that long running joke, it makes me giggle. So Tusk is mine.
Part of something together.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's all I have for this week. Do you have anything? Do you have any follow-up things? Smash that like. Yeah, I'm so happy to be on here with you. Thank you for having me. Again, I tell people this all the time, like my favorite thing about podcasting is I feel like I'm just getting together with one of my best friends and talking about all the fun stuff we would talk about if we weren't recording. So totally. Yeah.
Love it.
My mom is always saying that I know my mom's always worried about me because she thinks I'm like lonely. And I'm like, but I do hang out with people all week. Like, you don't understand that.
Yeah.
It's just different than it was for people.
It's just different. Yeah. And we record it to share with other people. And then they feel like they're our friends too. And I love that.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to keep these lives going. We still had the same amount of people pretty much. So Thanks for joining us, guys. And, Jodie will be popping in every so often, but then she'll be back forever until when Sister Wives starts. Oh my God, it's happening, Michael. One last thing. So I'll say hi to Latrice.
Hi, Latrice. Well, and I saw Walter in the background, and I feel like I'm seeing celebrities just walking around behind you.
But Walter's a good boy, and he doesn't walk around and unplug my mic. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Everyone check out, let me see if I can find the fucking brand here. Everyone check out Resting Biatch Face
with me and Justine. On Instagram, we're at Resting Bitch Pod, and we're also on Patreon. You can find that in our link tree on our Instagram.
Great. Also, this week, me and Nick are recording an episode of Squirrel Friends Cocktail Hour. Maybe we're both such pieces of shit that we're like tomorrow. Do you want to? Well, maybe the next day.
It's
maybe
it's a free podcast.
Yeah, it's a free podcast. We'll give it to you when you get it. And I guess that's it. Just hold on one second while I figure out how the fuck Jodie's the one that does all this. So
you got to learn.
Quick outro. Yeah, there we go. I think we're ready. All right. If that's nothing else, you're all adults.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, guys, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for joining us today on our We Love to Hate Everything channel. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like or even a comment, and click on that bell if you want notifications, because you never know when we might pop up and go live. Please check out our other 2 podcasts on Patreon, where we snark on even more TV, movies, and pop culture. We got Total Request Podcast, that's patreon.com/trpod, and We Love to Hate TV, patreon.com/love to hate TV. Thanks again, and we will see you next time.